Hey, Samaya.
Hey AJ,
How you doing?
pretty good. How you doing?
I'm tired, but I'm good.
Is your background the office?
It is. I found this on it's like some website, and I was like, that is a funny idea. So I'll try
Oh
it.
my god, I love it.
And I'm Jim now. Actually,
I
probably
kept
more like Dwight.
I haven't seen the whole show, but like I've only seen the CPR clip when I was in sports med, and that was probably the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Cool.
I'm surprised that our professor got back to you that fast.
I know it was like within a minute. I was like, dang, he's
I wonder
really
if
on
other
it.
people emailed him too.
He's probably like, get off my case. All right. Let's see. We're just waiting for Sabrina. I think she'll probably be here soon. Oops, I did not mean to do that. I accidentally marked the whole box as yellow on the sign up sheet. How are you guys doing today? Awesome. Okay. Yeah, so this presentation definitely won't take too long. Definitely won't be using the full 30 minutes. We'll probably be out of here pretty early. This is the last one for today, right? I think. Yeah, so we'll probably be done pretty soon, honestly. Okay. Hey, Sabrina. All right. One's marked as attended. Let me get this started now. Okay. Can everyone see my screen all right? Awesome. All right, so thank you all very much for coming to my workshop on troubleshooting common online problems in the virtual WMC. This presentation probably won't take too long, probably like 15 minutes or so, so I can probably get out of here pretty early. So yeah, let's get right into it. And then for all of you experienced here, this is probably, stuff you have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. It's nothing really new, but still important. So yeah. All right. Why is it not changing a slide? There we go. All right. So as I'm sure you guys are all aware by now, from how online classes have been throughout the pandemic, technical difficulties are pretty much unavoidable online. We might have internet connection issues, problems with the Zoom, your power might go out, or you might have a number of other issues that happen. And it's okay. There's not really anything you can do to avoid these problems or prevent them from happening. It's best to just be prepared for when they do happen and to have a plan for, what you're going to do when they do. So without further ado, let's get started with a very common problem, internet connection issues. This happens to me probably at least once a week, either if it's on my end or a 2T's end. So this is definitely one you'll encounter at some point. What pretty much any of our tutors would probably tell you when you're having an internet connection issue is just to turn your camera off and ask your 2T to do the same. Usually what this does is it will improve the audio quality substantially. And, it's nice being able to see your 2T on video, but, it's not the most important thing. Communication and actively talking to them is. So that's definitely the first thing I would do. If possible, you can also close out of other applications that might be maybe eating up your Wi-Fi. If communication continues to be difficult or just isn't possible at all, the best thing to do would probably be to message the student assistant on GroupMe so that they can try to get in contact with your 2T and maybe set up an appointment, or maybe pair them up with another tutor who isn't having connection issues. And if you think the problem is on your end, I think this goes without saying, but you know, you can always try the old unplug your router and plug it back in, you know, might work, might help you out. So yeah. Next one is one that we don't get too often, but what if your power goes out during a session? You know, I think this happened to a couple tutors. I want to say my first semester here. There was like a number of tutors that all had their power go out at the same time. It was kind of a mess, but it happens, you know. So first thing you're going to want to do when you drop out of a session, you know, because your power went out, is to, if you can, let the student assistant know what's going on via GroupMe, as this might be happening for other people as well. Usually power outages affect kind of a wide area. I know they've hit CI before, so, you know, more than likely you're not the only one. And in this scenario, you know, the best alternative would be to hop on Zoom using a phone or tablet, using mobile data. If you have those available, you know, if you don't, it's not a big deal, you know, you can only use the resources you have available. So I guess just do your best, you know, no worries. This is probably the most common problem all of our tutors experience. It's not that much of a problem, but it is, it can be mildly frustrating when your tutee isn't sure how to share their document. For some of you new tutors, usually how we ask the tutee to share their work is by having them send the link to what's usually a Google Doc in the Zoom chat. And sometimes what happens is you don't immediately have access to the document. You need to request it. I think that's just the default setting for Google Docs. So usually what you'll need to do is just ask them to share it with you, or to turn on, you know, anyone with link can view. Sometimes the student won't be quite sure how to do this, and you might need to give them a little bit of a walkthrough. You know, click the blue share button in the upper right hand corner and, you know, click anyone with link instead of restricted. And that usually should help them. But occasionally that isn't enough either, and the student is still kind of confused on what to do. And if you notice that, you know, too much time is kind of being wasted on this kind of trivial issue, it might just be easier and more time efficient to just ask them to screen share over Zoom instead, if you can. I feel like they're usually more familiar with the Zoom. That usually isn't a problem with them. It does have its drawbacks, like you can't leave comments, you know, over Zoom. I know a lot of our tutors like to leave little comments on the doc. You can't like manually scroll throughout it, but at least you can view it at all. That's probably the most important thing. So, and usually, you know, I haven't had a whole lot of instances where both of these things don't work. There was one where the tutee ended up having to like send their document through through the Zoom chat, and that was kind of a mess, but I guess I was able to see it, so, you know, it worked. Sometimes you just got to make do with what you have. So yeah, hopefully what happens to you guys throughout the semester is you can, you know, use one of these two methods. So next, this is actually one I added last night when I was going over this. It's not a problem that you'll have to deal with too often. And for you new tutors, I don't think that you'll have to do any asynchronous appointments, you know, your first semester. So you probably won't have to worry about this anytime soon. But when you do, occasionally when, you know, making an asynchronous appointment, VoiceThread will let you record voice or video comments. usually how it goes is you'll be, recording something for like 10 or 20 seconds, and then it will cut off and say like, oh, there's a problem, this service isn't available, something like that. What this most likely means is that another tutor is attempting to complete their own VoiceThread at the same time. We all share the same account, and VoiceThread doesn't really like when more than one person's on the account at any given time. And because of this, student assistants usually don't schedule more than one VoiceThread at any given time. But sometimes this happens, and usually just waiting until the other tutor is done will do the trick. But if you don't have time for that, or I don't know, the problems continue to persist, even if you don't think anyone else is on the account, you can always fall back on text comments. Obviously, these aren't preferred. I know it's a lot more engaging when you leave voice and video comments, but text comments are there for a reason. You can still, do your job just using those. So yeah. And then last but not least, we have TutorTrack, GroupMe, and other issues. We as tutors have come to rely on some of these services a lot in our day-to-day work. We use GroupMe just to keep in contact with our student assistants, to tell them like, oh, our appointment came in, can you mark them as attended? And then TutorTrack is our whole like schedule pretty much. So they're really essential services to us. And unfortunately, they aren't always working when we need them to. And, there isn't a whole lot we can do when these services go down other than to wait for them to be functional again. But if you do notice a problem, it's important to keep the other tutors and the SA informed when they happen. So if possible, you can just send a message on GroupMe if it's working, or an email to the active SA to keep them in the loop about what's going on, and maybe like a plan can be made to kind of temporarily get around the problem. But yeah, I think the most important takeaway from all this is, yeah, don't stress. These things are going to happen. You can't avoid them. So it really is just best to be prepared for when they do happen, so that you can kind of manage your time most efficiently and kind of get back on track. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to this presentation. Pretty short one. Does anyone have any questions, or do any of our more experienced tutors have any other tips or other technical difficulties that they might have encountered that they want to talk about?
I loved this, and I think I even learned a bit more about the VoiceThread problems than I knew before. So this was awesome.
Yeah.
You're very welcome. I just wanted to reassure everyone. Sohi and Abby and Shay, the bosses, they're all super understanding. So if there's some technical issue, if even if there's some non-technical issue, I remember like once I had no gas and ended up running late. Just let them know, like they're super understanding. And I think yeah. So it's I think the other experienced tutors back me up on this one. So
For sure.
yeah, you've even less reason to stress about potential issues arising. Just like know that they trust y'all. They made good choices in hiring you, so they'll give you a lot of grace and a lot of leeway.
Yeah, I'll definitely mention that in my my presentation next time. That's a really great point, that
Oh, thank
all
you.
of our bosses are like some of the most understanding people I've ever met. So if you have one of these problems, no one's gonna get frustrated at you or something.
So we are.
You guys, we're all gonna work through it together. Anyone else though? No, that's all
Actually,
good. Oh,
essays. So essays, typically GroupMe is the easiest way to reach most essays, but then the best alternative is email right after that, huh? I just want to make sure.
I would say so. I guess, like I said, unless GroupMe is not working, I guess it really depends on the essay as well, their personal preference, but I'm sure if you just get the message to them, that's the most important thing.
I personally like GroupMe. speaking as an essay, I like GroupMe best, but if you're working in person, like you could just come up to the desk, tell us what's going on. Like, don't even worry about it. We'll take care of it. Just don't stress too much about it. I've seen many people freak out that their appointment's not here or they keep cutting out from the Wi-Fi. Usually we just call them from the phone line. So don't worry about it. The essays are totally there to back you up.
Cool. Anyone else?
Wait, just a quick question. How do we get onto like GroupMe?
Oh yeah, I
The
know.
other day, because I was like, yeah, I was like, I have the app downloaded. I just don't know how to get into it.
Did you send your phone number to Abby? I think that's how she adds you, but I'm not sure.
From that list thing, I put it on there, but I don't think she's done it yet.
Abby just
Okay.
sent an email to all the new tutors, and I think she sent the link for the GroupMe in there, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, I'll just have to look through it then.
Yeah,
we
if you
could
can't-
even
Okay.
Yeah, we can even check for you, but what's kind of a cool thing too is you could do it on your phone through the app, or you can just do it on the internet. So if your phone doesn't have room for the app.
Yeah, GroupMe is cool because you can use it in a browser as well. I think that honestly puts it above all of the other apps out there. So yeah, and I'm sure if you can't get it sorted out, you can always reach out to Abby and she'll be happy to help you. So yeah. All right. Well, I think that about covers everything. Yeah, unless there's any other questions, probably not. All right. Well, yeah, thank you all for coming to my presentation, my very short one. But I hope you all have a great rest of your day. I know you all are probably tired from all the presentations, so get some rest, go eat some dinner. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
All right, thank you, AJ.
Thank you.
Okay,
That was
Thank
great.
you.
Awesome job.
thank you.
It was
Great
nice
job
meeting you
today.
all.
Yeah. Great meeting you. By the way, Tiffany, I just wanted to say, like, you and Sophia super engaged during my presentation. I was looking to you for feedback on how I was doing and whether I was clear, and like seeing you nodding and everything, like made it so much easier. So I just want to say thank you.
Yeah, well, your presentation was great. I had a lot of fun. It made me smile a lot.
Oh, thank you so much. I
Yeah.
really appreciate that. And thank you, Sophia, as well. You guys are awesome. I can't wait to
Of
work with
course.
you.
Thank you guys so much. See
All right.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
See you.
Bye.
All right. So, oh, whoops.